right, thank you so much for joining us right here on the show. And yes, I told you, but well, you can see that things have changed, right? Yes, we're about to talk serious of sporting business right here. Our sports right live on Liberty Television. My name once again Tunji Ojeleke. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we're talking American football at this point. My first experience of American football happened to come from high school movies, you know, in the Hollywood and all that. And it's great that I'm this close to feeling exactly what it looks like. Well, meeting these guys, honestly, I kind of felt like a little kid, you know, in front of. We'll talk about David versus Goliath kind of thing, but well, we'll be asking the physical size. Is it part of the requirements for being an American football player? Yes, because you know in the US they've got the NFL, that's the National Football League. Just a few weeks ago, I showed you, I brought some of the highlights from the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Patriots. We had all of that on TV. We always watch these things on TV. Now we have the opportunity to actually play this sport right here in Kaduna. Well, we'll find out exactly what this sport is all about after you have seen how huge these guys are in the studios. Well, the guy on your screen, he is right here with us in the studio, and I'm talking about Coach Amadi Chukwuemeka Innocent. Coach, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me this evening. I'm so very glad to be here among your mates and to discuss football. Thank you.
Exactly. So I also have my friend Abdul Hakim. I never knew you had anything to do with in football, actually. But it's great to have you here, man.
Thank you very much.
And also, by the way, Coach Amadi happens to be the president and the founder and president for the American Football for Africa Mission. He's also the head coach of the Team Nigeria national team. We'll be talking more about that in a minute. Abdul Hakim, the guy in the middle, he's also the vice president of the American Football for Africa Mission. All right, the guy in the extreme also is Amadi Obiora Victor, who happens to be the director of advancement and development at American Football for Africa Mission. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, so guys, but before we move on, let's take a look at highlights of the Super Bowl that was played a few weeks ago, sometime in early February or thereabouts. That game was between the Patriots and also the Eagles. Let's see that, and we'll be right back.
It's a billion-dollar business and the most popular sport in the United States. But do you know where American football came from? In the 1860s, the British game of rugby came to America. At the same time, athletic clubs began to spring up around the country. By 1920, the National Football League, known as the NFL, was formed in Canton, Ohio, and since then, the sport has grown to being a key part of the American culture.
Hope for them as Africans, that their hope is not dipped in.
Ertz repositions and sets up in the slot to the right. They go right to the air, and the pass is caught by Nelson Aguilar for a gain of 5 up to the 30-yard line. Tackle there by Kyle Van Noy. 3rd down and 4. Foles flushed out, keeps his eyes downfield, and completes it to Alshon Jeffrey. First year with the Eagles, came over from the Bears, and Philadelphia with the game's first down. Foles deep in the pocket, fires downfield, and that is hauled in at the 38-yard line by Torrey Smith.
Like he's going to get beat on this stunt, but he recovers just in time to allow Foles to make the turn and pick up that first down.
In the backfield from the 38-yard line. Again, the RPO, and the pass is caught by Ertz, the tight end. He was their leading receiver during the regular season, caught 74 and had 8 touchdowns against the Rams in December, and that got Foles into the lineup. 2nd down and 3, and this time they hand it to Ajayi on an inside run. Ajayi picks up a ton of yardage after contact.
This offense is going to work.
Opening drive of the game. This is the 9th play, and there he goes, and He gets tripped up and tackled to the 21. That's Van Noy, already off to a great start. Bend not break, and they've been great in the red zone. 2nd down and 4. A little flip out here to Corey Clement. And Clement gets inside the 10 and sets up a 1st down and goal. To the 1-yard line. He goes. Lawrence Guy. He already has 10 postseason touchdowns in his career. Now you've got our first whistle. So Gene Steratore will take the mic for the first time tonight.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
2nd fewest in the league. Now a little fake toss. Foles goes the other way and throws that out of the back of the end zone. Aguilar the closest to it. That's Ertz back and forth. Off play action to the back of the end zone and broken up there by Rowe.
Ajayi to come out there and make that play, and then here's Rowe on the back end. They try to get it up high, let him jump ball.
A rookie, had to get him early in the season when Caleb Sturgis got hurt opening day. 25-yard attempt is good.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now you have exactly the idea of what American football is all about. Now, that was so beautiful on the screen, right? Now let's talk about how this game is played. And I'll start off with Coach Amadi this time. Coach Amadi, this is a sport that is predominantly played in the US. Why Africa? Why Nigeria?
Yeah, actually, American football has been practiced in the US for many years, and up to now it's still been practiced big time in the US. I think Africa, we are ripe for the sport because when we look at the pedigree of the players that are out there and the state playing, we have a lot of Africans involved in American football, and because of the sheer size, apart from the size, the aggression that Africans are attributed to, the strength, the sheer will of power to succeed where others don't succeed, I think that's one of the criteria that have given us that opportunity to say, okay, yeah, this sport is meant for Africans, and most especially when we're talking about Africans, we're talking about Nigerians. We have the aggression. Those aggression can be channeled into positivity, and then when you put it up in the sports, like you can see what is happening out there in the Super Bowl, that aggression, they want to get into the pockets, they want to get into the trench, and then they want to do things, they want to make things happen. So Nigerians, we are built for the sport. We have, the determination. If you see what is happening in the economy today, a lot of kids are out there, trying to make an ends meet for their families. We see a lot of kids hawking in the streets. This is the determination to earn a morsel of food for the day. And then that determination we put in the sports is positive also. We have the strength. We built for it. Nigerians are built for it because we have the strength and character, strength, the purpose to be able to survive where others don't survive. Like they say, if you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive any part of the world. So Africans are built for American football, as well as we Nigerians, it's tailor-made for we Nigerians, because that's how I say. I don't want to be so so selfish about the whole claim, but I want to say Nigerians are built for football. When we look at the pedigrees of Nigerians in the NFL, we are second to none in population. Nigerians, a lot of them, you see Nigerian names, people like Nanda Somogai, people like Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare. These people did great. There are a lot of Nigerians doing great. Even recently, in the last match I just concluded, you can see somebody Ajayi. Ajayi is a Nigerian, but though he's having dual passports, but these are Nigerians. Nigerians are all over there in the States. Over 30 of them are in the NFL, and they're doing great. So we don't have much people of the same locality, like in the same locality, that are more identified in the sport like Nigerians. So this sport is made for Nigeria. I think Nigerians can do great in this sport.
Okay, let me come to you now, Abdullah Abdul Hakim. You also coach. You also coach in the sport, and for you to succeed as a football player, like we see, I'm trying to understand something now. I know there is the physical requirement for it. You need to be strong, you need to be big, and all that. I also know that you need speed. Apart from this, what are the requirements for a football player? For me to succeed as I am right now, what do I need to do?
Okay, I always advise people that wants to play American football, not just American football, whatever it is you want to go into in life, you need passion. First, passion. American football is this, American football is that. Before you even tell anybody something, they will tell you about the movie Concussion. And I'll tell them every sport has its own area. As far as I'm concerned, American football is the safest game in the world. How do you mean safest game? How many games do you know out there that you wear bodyguards? All the parts of your body is protected. So how safe can it be? Very, very safe. You understand? So like when you talk about passion, you understand? That means first, what am I looking for? I want to play this game. I want to enjoy the game. Every game you go into, you have to make sure you're going there with that zeal of let me go and have my fun. Yes, fun. Then 2, strength. Strength doesn't mean you have to be big. You can be bigger than me, and I can be stronger than you. Strength means you have to build yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. Because I always tell people on the pitch, don't be scared of that big guy. Be scared of the small one because you don't see him coming. You're trying to run. You're trying to avoid that big guy. You just maybe you're trying to maybe you are a wide receiver. You understand? You are expecting to get a ball. You understand? You saw a little pocket opening. You try to take that pocket. Now, opening that pocket now, you're looking at the big guy. You're forgetting the small one that can bring you down without you seeing him coming. Now, you've talked about speed. You've talked about size. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you don't have that speed, you can't play American football. That means you don't have to come into American football with the speed. We train you in everything. We train you, we give you the strength you need, we give you the mental capability, we give you the physical capability, everything you need. It's our job as coaches to make sure you have it. So there's nothing like I'm too lanky or I'm scared or whatever it is. Whatever the problem is, that is our duty to make sure we prepare you for this game. So as far as I'm concerned, anybody can play American football.
Okay, now Amaju Obiora, let me come to you now at this point. I don't know if you actually play this game.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we know how to score points in a game like soccer. We know that you need to outwit your opponent to put the ball in the back of the net to be able to score points and all of that. Now, what is the essence of football? How do you score points in football?
All right. The essence of football is a game of gaining yards, taking the ball to the opponent's end zone and make it touchdown. Like in when you come to the rugby, that is similar to American football, they call it try. When you come to soccer, we call it a goal. All right. So in football, American football, we call it a touchdown, and a touchdown is 6 points. All right. So when you make a touchdown 6 points, you have an opportunity of making a conversion, and that's to give you an extra point. And that's where you see some of them kicking the ball through the upright. You understand? So if you don't want to kick that, you can also make conversion, and that conversion is 2 points. All right. So you always have an opportunity of making 6 points and an extra point, making it 7 points. So when you take the ball to the end zone, you make 6 points. Then when you make a conversion by kicking through the upright, is 1 point. So that's 7 points. But if you refuse or you don't want to kick through the upright, you want to make a play. That's an additional play. That's 2 points when you get to the end zone again. So it's 2 points. Then you have 8 points altogether.
Okay, so now coming back to Coach Amadi now, talking about this sport, Coach Abdullah said that it is one of the most protected. It has its own safety standards and all of that. Now, yes, you've mentioned the movie Concussion and all of that. I also see events where there will be so much acrobatics. When I say acrobatics, I mean turns on somersaults and all, which could actually, who knows, it could make a player fall awkwardly and all of that. Now, what are the kits? What do you need to say? I want to play American football now. I know we have the shoulder guards, the helmets, probably the thigh pads and all of that. So, you tell us now, what are the requirements? I'm talking about kits now. As far as the kits are concerned, what do you need to be fully kitted a football player?
Okay, American football requires a lot of technicalities as well as equipment. As For you to play effectively and be protected, first and foremost, like you did mention, the helmets. The helmets are not just like the motorbike helmet you used to see in the street. These helmets are conditioned helmets that have a lot of aerodynamism in them, and that gives you the full protection, that gives the squad the full protection and make sure that you are fully protected, when you come to impact, because an impact sport. And then the pads are not just like any other stuff you can see in the streets. These are like body armors. They have sheer will of tenacity for them to absorb some kind of shocks, when you come to impact, and every other gears you're putting on. First and foremost, we need to talk about the pitch. The pitch has to be in condition. The pitch, the ground is always going to be in great condition. Plush grasses that make sure that when you fall over, you don't get yourself hurt. But that's not all. When we talk about safety in football, we talk about total safety. That means we teach the players, the athletes are supposed to be taught on how to, watch out for themselves and also watch out for their opponents. And that is why you see some of them doing those acrobatic stuff you are saying. They have to break their fall. They have to be on represented. Yes, this is what it is. Not to hold themselves so touchy that they get themselves impact and then they get themselves crushed. So when we look at all this over the training period, athletes are prepared. Their bodies are prepared to take some of all these shocks, and taking up these shocks, it's prepared them for the eventuality in the game. There is no way you can play American football without getting hit. So when you prepare yourself and prepare your body, when you tune up your body, you see some of them looking so athletic because they go into the gym, they try to put on some weight and then pack up themselves. You have to be totally prepared for this sport. So safety is what we talk about in American football. That's the first thing we talked about for a novice. Safety force. Teach the athletes to be mindful of himself and mindful of his opponent. That's where we could reduce a lot of injuries. There is no sport without injury, but American football, because of the sheer will of the passion, like what Coach Treaty said in it, a lot of people are putting so much in it that it gets sometimes maybe out of hand. But then because of that, we already know that yes, we need to prepare for such kind of things, and that's why we have to set up the whole place, making us that that everybody's safe in the game. So be safe.
So Coach, I didn't want to call you Treaty before, but I think I have the limit to call you Treaty now. So Coach Treaty, we talked about football, like he mentioned. I remember during my interaction with you, we talked about pitch and all that. Some of the pitches in Kaduna are rocky. So it makes fall not pleasant at all, and makes people not to really want to play. So now, I know that you've also started off in Zaria. I saw some video clips. If we could have some of those video clips so you can see lots of, you said thousands of kids come show up for these clinics. Now, in Kaduna, I know this is not your first time in Kaduna, but as far as Kaduna is concerned, how has the reach been? As far as Kaduna is concerned, has been the reception in Kaduna town? I know in Zaria it's been received already. Lots of people are supporting that game already. But in Kaduna, how has it been for you?
Okay, in Kaduna, I have to be real with you. We have started the game, but on a very, the morale is still low. Why? Just like you said, most of the pitches in Kaduna is rough. I don't want to start calling names, but I know one of the sports representative of one of the higher institutions in Kaduna actually called upon us to come and start American football in their school, because he is so sure that the students of their school are going to have interest and everything.
You can actually mention it.
The first thing we went to do is to check the pitch, and their pitch is too rocky. Just like we say, safety first. We are concerned about the safety of the kids that are in our care. We can't ask, okay, because we want to play American football and we know that this pitch is going to get you injured, we'll now ignore that safety. No, that is not what we do in American football. No matter what kind of protective gear you wear, if your coach does not teach you how to take care of yourself, at the end of the day, it's work done zero. So we are actually thinking there is a way we could be opportune to sit with those that are in charge of the sports in Kaduna, you understand, discuss the modalities of this game, the economic importance of introducing American football in Kaduna as a state. In Zaria, it is totally accepted. It's already a very popular game. We want to bring it to Kaduna to make it very popular in Kaduna, but just like you said, we are still having problem with the kind of pitch that will accept us. In Zaria, we had to train at the polo pitch. The grasses there are just perfect.
Okay.
There are grasses that will ensure that even without the kits, you can train and you can hit hard and you will be safe.
Okay, let me come to Obiora now. You are the Director of Advancement and Development at this organization. Now, let me ask you this. What going forward, making this sports popular, attracting kids and all of that. First of all, I think I'll reserve one part of that question for Coach Chukwuemeka. But for you, going forward, how does this organization intend to continue promoting this particular sport?
Right away, like what we're doing on set now, trying to let people around to know that football has come to stay in Nigeria and also in Africa, because that's what AFFAM stands for. We've been able to, make camps every year, you understand, at the National Stadium in Abuja. So we intend doing this yearly, and also taking kids off the street, facilitating scholarships for them, and sending them abroad to practice the sport and also making a living for themselves and all that. So we've been able to do this, but we've not gotten to where we want to be actually. So we are using this opportunity to call on every meaningful Nigerian, to really, who has the passion to, and the drive to take a street kid out of that street, and make life worthy for that kid, So we are calling on everybody that wants to, that all passionate about sport and how trying to help people, you understand? So they should come in and support. That's what we're all craving for. And apart from that, also we've been trying to see if we can spread the game alongside, not only here in the north, but all over Nigeria. Going to the southern region also to do like what we did last year. We did a youth football league, and also we are trying to do this also in the southern part of the country, so that football will be well known in every part of Nigeria.
Okay, so sorry, we're almost out of time, so I'll just have to cut you short there. But I know for a fact that once in a while you guys can always come and let's talk about this. Now, Coach Amadi, on a final note, what's the age bracket for the kids that you want to see coming out for your clinics?
Yeah, actually we've been doing clinics like Coach Obi just attractively pointed out. We're in two phases. The first phase being kids from the ages of 15 years to 20 to 25 years. Those are much older kids. But for the youth football league that we started, we wanted to go more down to the grassroots category, where we have 9 to 40 years old kids. Over there in the States, kids start playing football in ages of 3-4 years old. That's the pee-wee age, and they get to grow with the sport, and they get better by the day. So, but we are not afforded that opportunity to be able to take care of a 3-year-old or 4-year-old kid in the sport. So that's why we step it up to 9 to 40 years old.
All right. Sorry, we need to go now. We really need to go now. I wish we had more time, but I want to thank Coach Chukwuemeka, Treaty, as well as Coach Obi, who made it into the studio right here to talk about American football. So as we go, we'll be leaving you with graphics of the first official game of American football that was played in Nigeria. It was played, in Lagos, but we're hoping that we'll have this in Nigeria. Sorry, in Kaduna.
No, the first official game was played in Zaria.
Sorry.
We now had a return leg in Lagos.
Okay, so it's the Lagos game that we've got for you right here on Sports Right. My name is Tunji Oyeleke. Thanks to the American Football for Africa Mission for being right here with me. I'll see you guys next Monday, and who knows, they may just be back here again. I don't know. But then we'll be back. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ertz repositions and sets up on the slot to the right. They go right to the air, and the pass is caught by Nelson Aguilar for a gain of 5 up to the 30-yard line. Tackle there by Kyle Van Noy. 3rd down and 4.
It's a billion-dollar business and the most popular sports in the United States. But do you know where American football came from? In the 1860s, the British game of rugby came to America. At the same time, athletic clubs began to spring up around the country. By 1920, the National Football League, known as the NFL, was formed in Canton, Ohio, and since then, the sport has grown to being a key part of the American culture. Fast forward to March 5th, 2016 in Zaria, Kaduna State, where the ABU Titans, a team formed in 2010, would play the